In this video, I'm going to show you the 10 most important kettlebell exercises beginners need to know. We call them the Big 10, and we do them with our clients all throughout the year in various shapes, forms, and sizes, little variations, but the foundations are always the same. And the reason is simple. These 10 exercises give you the most bang for your buck. And if you're over 40 and you want to become strong, fit, and lean without going to the gym twice as fast, then download my free ebook in the first link in the description. Grüezi miteinander, Gregory von Lebe Stark here. The kettlebell is the best GPP tool on planet Earth. GPP stands for General Physical Preparedness. This is what many people, especially over 40, 50, and 60, need. However, there's a plethora of exercises out there, especially when it comes to the kettlebell. Some will waste your time like nothing else. And I'm here to prevent this. I'm going to show you the Big 10, the most powerful exercises beginners need to know, and they must learn them fast. So I'm not going to just show them to you, I'm also going to teach them how to do it. Exercise number 1 is the Deadlift Watch. I have a shoulder width stance over the kettlebell. I push my hips back. My upper body leans forward in a 90-degree angle towards the floor. My spine is not bent, but I keep it straight with a flat back. Then I'm unlocking the knees, grabbing the handle with straight arm, pulling the shoulders back, and as I stand up, I imagine I'm crushing grapes below my feet. I exhale at the top, I exhale at the bottom. Exercise number 2 is the row watch. We start in the same position like a deadlift, hips back, upper body leans forward. Now I lean my left side on my body on my left leg if I'm using my right arm, and vice versa. I grab the kettlebell by the handle and I pull it close to my hips and making sure that the elbow stays close to my body inside my center line. I try to pull the handle up to my belly button, and now I'm using a hang row variation where the kettlebell doesn't touch the floor. I don't let the shoulder hang, I pull it back, I exhale at the top, I exhale at the bottom. Exercise number 3 is the Goblet Squat. Watch. I swing the kettlebell between my legs up in a sandwich grip, hold the kettlebell by the bell itself, elbow close to the body. The stance is a little bit wider than shoulder width. My feet are turned to the left and to the right, respectively. Now, chest up, hips back, knees out. I squat down as far as I can. And as I stand back up, again, I imagine I'm crushing grapes between my feet. Exercise number 4, the lunge. Watch. The major difference between a lunge and a squat is that the lunge is working our hip flexors a bit more. Again, the same stance like in the Goblet Squat, sandwich grip, shoulder width stance. Now I take a big leap backwards. I keep my rear leg straight. Now I shift my right knee over the toe, pushing the hips down to the floor, and I'm coming back. I exhale at the bottom, exhale at the top. And if I do it correctly, I feel that stretch in my hip area. That's exactly what I want. Exercise number 5 is the press. Watch. To finish strong in the top fixation, with the elbow extended and the biceps close to my ear, I have to understand a hand insertion. A hand insertion becomes even more crucial as we learn the clean as well as the snatch later in the video. Now with the hand insertion, I want to make sure that my full wrist is inside the window of the kettlebell and the lower horn of the kettlebell connects with my forearm bone. Now I can wiggle my fingers, I can close them to a fist, and now from this position, I push my elbow close to my body as if I was defending myself like in boxing. And now I imagine I press the handle up first and the bell follows. Exercise number 5 is the hand-to-hand swing. Watch. To master the hand-to-hand swing, we first have to learn the pendulum. The pendulum looks like this. I push the knees forward, push the hips back, lock the knees. Now I push the knees back forward again, and now I stand up. So it's dip, lock, dip, stand up. And every time I stand up, I imagine I want to crush grapes between my feet. I want to make sure that the arm stays connected to my body as long as possible. I'm not leading the kettlebell with my hand, but I'm using my hips. And just in case if you're wondering what kind of kettlebell I'm using, it's the Pro Kettlebell by my friend Nikolai Pukhlov, proudly made in the USA. Check the link in the description to get your Pro Kettlebell right now. And don't forget to use our code Lebe to get 10% off your next purchase. Exercise number 7, the clean. Watch. The clean is closely related to the swing. I have to understand the pendulum and work with the legs. And now here comes the hand insertion that we've talked about in the press. I have to spear the kettlebell and keep the elbow close to the body as if I was defending myself like in boxing. Exercise number 8, the snatch. Watch. A snatch is a clean on steroids. And before you want to tackle the snatch, you have to master the hand-to-hand swing, then you master the clean, and finally you tackle the snatch. The difference to the snatch when we compare it to the clean is that the top fixation is where the kettlebell finishes, not at the hip. So I keep my arm extended as the bell travels up, I lean back a little to use my upper body's leverage, and right before the kettlebell reaches that top position, I insert my hand inside the window as fast as possible. It comes again, the hand insertion, so I can fixate the bell overhead. And as I drop it, I turn the palm towards me, bend the elbow, lean back again, and then I want to catch the weight with my body. Exercise number 9, the jerk. Watch. In stark contrast to the press, with the jerk, we use our legs. And we also want to jump into a second, or fall rather, into a second dip to minimize the distance that the kettlebell has to travel. The key is coordination. I have to understand that I must extend the upper body, shoulder, as well as the elbow, and I must flex or bend the lower body. This requires lots of exercise and practice. So I push the weight up, and as soon as the kettlebell lands in the top fixation, I drop, I completely relax the legs, I stand up to finish the lift, and bring the kettlebell back down into the rack position. And the final exercise, the Windmill Watch. The windmill is a side hinge with a T-spine rotation. Again, requires lots of coordination. We have a shoulder with stance. If I have the kettlebell in my left hand, I point both of my feet to the right side. Now I side hinge, turn the chest towards the front. My right arm connects with my right leg. Now I lower my torso towards the floor and until I reach the bottom, and now I stand back up and I go back into this rotation. Beginners do well by learning the windmill with the low windmill, which is way easier to do. So there you have it, the 10 best kettlebell exercises beginners must know and learn as fast as possible. Yes, it requires a little bit of technique, especially the latter ones of the 10. But there's a reason why we call them the Big 10. Many of our clients, as well as us trainers included, we always practice these exercises throughout the whole year to get better. These are not exercises that you learn from day 1 to day 2. You start practicing, and maybe after a couple of 100 days, you finally are able to reach some kind of level when it comes to the jerk and the snatch. Now, this is not supposed to scare you. I believe this is one of the keys of kettlebell training, why people stick with it. It's because you actually have to learn a skill. And the kettlebell is very forgiving. Unlike a barbell, if you load it heavy, that can really crush you and cause injury, the kettlebell is not that hard to lift, especially if you grab lighter ones. So if you're ready to put in the work and practice and learn these powerful exercises, the Big 10, I think, and I'm sure, they will give you the same bang for your buck like they give our clients. Here's the next thing that you have to do. Click and press that like and subscribe button. Share with a friend who's also interested in kettlebells, and if you made it this far, download my free ebook in the first link in the description called the Kettlebell Code. If you're over 40, 50, or 60, you don't have a lot of time, but you still want to take care of your fitness, this is where the kettlebell comes in. And my ebook is going to show you how to get started. So download it right now in the first link in the description or in the first pinned comment. It's 100% free.